Hey guys, so last night I went and finally saw Paper Towns, and I was super excited to see this movie because Paper Towns is like my favorite book by John Green. So I was like, and The Fault in Our Stars was actually really good. It followed the book very well, and I loved it. And they said it was like the same director. So I was like, okay, so this is gonna be good, right? Sad to say, I was very disappointed in the movie. My best friend, who is a giant book nerd like I am, loves Paper Towns. She actually went to the midnight premiere and then lied to me about it, and then told me after she saw it for the second time with me that she'd already seen it. Anyways, and she said that she didn't like it. Although I was like, well, then why'd you come a second time? But whatever. It was really disappointing, guys. Like, I'd heard one previously bad review about it, and so, well, technically kind of two. So like I was like, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. It's gonna be really good, and I just don't know. And like, even for like the audience viewers that aren't huge book nerds, like they didn't read the book, they don't know what it's about. Like, I took one of my other really good friends with me last night. She doesn't read, she hates reading, but she's a major chick flick fan, and so she went because she thought it was going to be a chick flick, and then she was really disappointed. She really didn't like it either, and it broke my heart that I didn't love the movie. I didn't come out loving it. And so, anyways, let's get on to this. Casting wise, I think they did a very good job casting, especially with the younger versions of Q and Margot. They looked insanely alike to Nat Wolff and Cara Delevingne. It was crazy how much they looked alike. As for like the casting with the actual main characters, I think Nat Wolff did an amazing job as Q. It really brings to life, he really brought to life how kind of crazy Q is about Margot at the points, especially when they're in Aglo and Margot isn't there, and he's telling them that, no, she's got to be here, like this whole trip was for nothing if we don't wait, and everything. It really brings to life how crazy the kid can be. Cara, when I first heard that she was going to be playing Margot, I was very skeptical considering she is foreign and she has a very thick accent. I was kind of worried as to how her American accent would be, and I was actually really impressed with it. I also didn't know she could act, because as we all know, she is a Victoria's Secret model. I didn't think she could act, but she's not very bad at acting. And I think she definitely brought to life my Margot. She was definitely made Margot, a bit of a douchebag, and it's just, she fit Margot very well. Ben, I freaking love the kid who plays Ben. Like, Ben, yes, we know he's funny in the book, but he was so much funnier in the movie. And, like, I loved every scene with him. Like, those are some of my favorite scenes with him because he was just so funny. I loved him. Like, I think he's my favorite movie character because he was just so funny. I was very upset when I found out that the SeaWorld scene was cut. Because that is probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire book, is the SeaWorld scene, because it's the first time they've reunited in like 9 years, and like they're actually hanging out, and that slow dance scene they have with the jazz music is just so beautiful. Like, it's my favorite scenes. And one of my really good friends, her sister is the manager at the movie theater in my town, and so she got to see Paper Towns the day before it came out, and she sent me a text message while I was sitting at home, mad because she was there and I was at home, and she told me that there's no SeaWorld scene, and my heart broke because that is definitely one of my favorite scenes. And I don't understand why they had to cut it out, and I don't like how they like mentioned of SeaWorld in the beginning of the movie, like after Margot found out who the dead guy was, and then she's like, I think there's some clues because he used to work at SeaWorld. We need to go break into SeaWorld. Like, no. Like, this is a little, 9-year-old? She's not gonna go freaking break into SeaWorld. Like, why would you do that? So that really frustrated me. I wish they didn't do that, because I was really looking forward to the SeaWorld scene. I really, really was. I mean, I liked how they still included the slow dance into the movie in the SunTrust building to the jazz music. That was really nice, and that warmed my heart, even though it was really, really short. And yeah, but I really wish the SeaWorld scene was there, because like the SeaWorld scene is kind of like what sets it up for, like, you know, obviously she like wants me somehow because she spent her last night in Orlando with me, and then she left me all these clues, and it really solidifies that Q is like, I have to find her. There's a whole reason she did all of this with me and left me these clues, so I have to find her. Like, she left them for me. The road trip. Definitely one of the most entertaining parts in the book is reading how they drive the 21 plus hours from Orlando, Florida to Agloe, New York. Very interesting how they put it into the movie. I really, really enjoyed how they brought Angela into it, because we really don't see much of Angela. We just kind of hear about her. I think she goes to like one party. She's really not seen much in the book. She's talked about a lot. But I definitely loved getting to see her in the movie, and definitely seeing that she did get to have that bonding with Q and Ben and even Radar. It was very nice. I loved how she joined the road trip. She definitely added to it, and I really loved that. I loved how we were surprised that Ansel was in the movie. Like, when they stopped at the gas station, he ended up being the cashier. That was the best. Because, you know, Nat and Ansel play best friends in The Fault in Our Stars. And now Nat's starring in another one of John Green's books to movies. And so why wouldn't Ansel be in there? He's so freaking adorable. And I was so happy he was in there. And, like, the whole, do you like dragons? So funny. I am upset, however, about the road trip being, like, a couple days before prom. Like, what even? Why would you change it to before prom? I don't understand why they did that. Why before prom? It's supposed to be after graduation. They're supposed to miss graduation. And it's supposed to be funny because Ben and Radar are naked underneath their graduation robes and they need to stop and get clothes. That's the whole reason they had to stop for the t-shirts. I don't understand why it had to be before prom. Like, Q was supposed to spend prom night in the shutdown, like, store or whatever. That's where he's supposed to, and thinking about Margot. And then that's when he finds out about the poster. And it just really, really bugged me that it was before prom it happened and not after graduation, because that's the way it was supposed to be. And, you know, maybe it wouldn't have been such a extreme time crunch if it had been after graduation as it was with prom, because they had to get ready and everything. Like, why? Why before prom? It really makes me mad. Like, you can't just switch the timing of this giant monumental part of the book. You can't put it before something else. Like, obviously, Q said he didn't care about prom. He didn't want to go. He thinks it's stupid. So that's why he spends his night trying to figure out where Margot is while his friends go off and have a wonderful prom. Like, it just, it messed with the whole story, and it really irritated me. And then when they get to Agloe, Margot isn't even there. She's supposed to be there. She was supposed to be back writing in her little black book. Like, why didn't they put her there? Like, why did she have to be off running in the town right next door? Like, she was supposed to be at Agloe, and they're supposed to have, her and Q were supposed to have that little moment. It wasn't okay? Like, adding in that he saw her in the town was nicer, but, like, I wish it would have been there. Like, it was supposed to be there. That's where it's supposed to be. And then, you know, they make it, well, I mean, Q makes it barely in time for prom. First off, there is no way in hell you're gonna get to just walk into prom without a ticket. It does not work that way. I don't know why it was at their school, because normally prom isn't held in the gym at the school. So maybe that is the only reason he was able to just walk in. But normally you pay for your prom ticket like a month in advance, and they're not gonna let you just walk right in. Like, it just doesn't work that way, okay? It really doesn't. One of the things that hit me the hardest in this movie, though, is the very, very, very end. It shows a little clip of them after, I guess before their graduation ceremony, they were carving into the podium. And at the very, very end of the movie, you see the 3 cars lined up, and it's Q and Ben and Radar, and they're all hugging, and they're saying goodbye because they're all about to go off to college. And that really, really hit me hard, considering that I seriously just graduated from high school, and as of right now, as I'm filming this video, I'm less than 2 weeks away from moving into college. And to think that I'm going to have to say goodbye to all of my friends and not be able to see them for a really long time. Like, I'm not going to see them every day at school, or I'm not going to see them walking around the neighborhood because they live in my same street. Like, it really hit me hard thinking, like, that's going to be us. Like, I move in less than 2 weeks. My best friend moves in a little over 2 weeks. And my other really good friend actually moves in 6 days. And so, like, that really, like, hit me hard. I was like, guys, like, that is going to be us. And, like, hardly any time at all. And it was sad. It was really sad. So, overall, like, this movie was so disappointing. I mean, it's not as awful as, Percy Jackson, because Percy Jackson was pretty awful. I think it may have been a little worse than Mortal Instruments, in my opinion, because it was just bad. Like, I enjoyed the first half of the movie. I really did. I was upset that the SeaWorld scene wasn't in there because that's, like, one of my favorite scenes. But I was like, I can deal. But, like, the second half of the movie just ruined it. Ruined everything. Like, they mixed everything up, and it just was not okay. Like, there was no way I was okay with it. And, yeah, so this movie, I'm giving an awful rating to, because it was just so bad. Like, it's not like the acting was bad. The way they chose to sequence the book was really bad, and it definitely really upset me. And I don't know if it's, and like, I'm guessing it's upset a lot of other people, because they just changed everything when, you can't move that road trip up and then add prom. Like, it wasn't the same, and I really wish they wouldn't have done that. I really had high hope for this movie, and it really just kind of tore my heart apart to think that it wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be. So, honestly, if you're thinking of going to see this, I mean, I guess you could go see it. I mean, it's still a pretty good movie, but, I mean, they didn't follow the book. And if you're going to go see it because you think it's like a chick flick, don't waste your money on it, because it's not. It's really going to disappoint you at the end. And, yeah, so I was super disappointed with this movie. Really, really disappointed. Anyway, so I'll see you guys next time with a book talk, Top 5 Wednesday, or tag video. Until then, I'm Chrissy. Goodbye!